My name's Eric Nordhoff, and I ran the international division at Ward Entertainment for 5 years, and then before that I was at Provident Music Group, and I ran their special markets division and their international division for about 2 years, and then before that, kind of going back in time a little bit, I ran the special markets and international division at a division of Warner Brothers called Warner Alliance, which was kind of their first venture in Christian music, and that was back in 1996. 6 years ago, I started a company based on just my experience with international sales. I started Go Global Entertainment, and it's a international distribution and licensing company, and it's kind of evolved over the time and changed with the times. And when we started, I think there were no iPhones, and there were no, I think MySpace was really big back then. So now it's quite different, and I love it. I want to change with it, and I don't think there was an iTunes at that time, or iTunes was just getting started. So it was an exciting time. It was the right time to start my own business. One of the big mistakes I made early on in distribution was trying to distribute something, even though it was a top 10 inspirational radio hit, and it looked like it was being played nationally. It was being played the song was being played very often. We even stuck a sticker on the outside of the CD, and we were excited because we were going to do a deal with a major Christian retailer in the U.S. and so we manufactured our 2,500 units, and we were real excited about that, and we had them all shipped into the stores, and they were all placed, on nice, end caps, so good positioning, good placement. But what we realized was, we realized about 5 months later, we got 2,350 back. So we only actually sold 150. And we paid for all those 2,500 CDs. We still have those CDs today. This was back in 2007, 2008. So 4 years later, we have an entire garage full of a mistake, And it's just, don't do that. Just physical CD distribution is the absolute last thing that you want to do to retail until you're really confident that the reach that you're having on radio is making an impact. And to be honest, that's really tough to do as an indie artist, to get radio impact. I mean, it's hard for signed artists to get radio play. So, I would just err on the side of caution and save the money on the distribution until you're really ready to do that. Our experience has been, you're better off doing it yourself. Working with your direct fan base, making sure that you're working your email list, you're working your Facebook, you're working your social networks, and you're really developing your fan base yourself. And do that in any way that you can. I think that's the first priority. Digital distribution would be a good place to go to start if you want to start to build a greater regional or a national following. If you have a local following, if you're playing within a 30-mile radius of where you live, I would really focus on doing the distribution yourself. I would go in and call, because I think you'll learn a lot from that as an indie.
Yeah, that's good.
Just go to your local retail store and see if you can just do a consignment deal where you can get the product into their store, and then they pay you if something sells on a monthly basis. So I would just recommend going to your local, if you're a Christian artist, going to your local Christian bookstore, or going into whatever retail channels would sell your product, making sure that you build a relationship with your local retailers. Also churches, some of the churches have bookstores, and so get into the churches and make sure, as you're building relationships with them, that when you leave, after you've done music there, ask them if they would put your music in the church, in the church bookstore. There's lots of places online that you can go to get your digital distribution. Probably the most popular, and it's not necessarily the best, but it's probably it's a great one to start with, would be CD Baby for your digital distribution. Or there's the Orchard. There's just a lot of others as well that you can search. If you just searched digital online download outlets on Google or something like that, you could find probably the first 3 or 4 would be excellent. It's been a great way for people to instantly get access to iTunes and get their product up, and that alone is a great accomplishment. I would say that the way that you get a placement on iTunes is relational, is absolutely relational. They have a limited amount of time. They have a lot of products. They're really dealing with the major record labels and the key indies. So if you can capture the attention, if you don't have a relationship, let's say, okay, you're going to have to do a lot of work to capture that person's attention. You're going to need to contact iTunes directly, and you're going to have to find out who that person is that handles the Christian, and there are, there's people that edit the Christian store, so you're going to want to contact those people, and you're going to want to just share the story, and a lot of it is very PR driven, and you've got to be able to tell a really great story.